Good evening and welcome to the 2019 DBA Design Effectiveness Awards. I'm so pleased that some of you put the effort into the floral flourishes. I'll determine by the end of the night actually who gets a prize, but thank you for being on brief for this evening. Actually, we'll be here next year, so you might want to step it up a bit. I think we could go bolder. So we're celebrating 30 years of Design Effectiveness Awards this evening. And when a big birthday looms, quite often we'll stand back and take stock of where we've got to and what we've achieved. It's also prudent to make sure that you're setting the right course for the future and not just simply going where the wind takes you. So we carried out a review last year aimed at making sure that the DBA Design Effectiveness Awards were fit for purpose for the next 30 years. So thank you to those of you in the room who took part in those discussions and interviews. A number of changes were implemented this year, and there'll be more to follow. But so far, we're delighted with the impact of those changes and confident that these awards will remain the benchmark for design effectiveness globally for years to come. I thought you should know that every penny that you invest in entering and in being here tonight only covers the costs incurred against the awards. This is not a money-making exercise for the DBA. This is an evidence-unearthing exercise for the DBA. This is a case study-making exercise for the DBA. This is a storytelling exercise for the DBA. As your champion, we're always looking for the best way of shouting about what you're capable of achieving into every sector of industry and society. So that was one of our aims this year, to grow the breadth and the depth of what was being entered, and then to tell the stories of what you do more powerfully. I'll let you be the judges of that this evening. I'm really excited about what you're going to experience. We've hit both of those targets and set the foundations in place to grow the breadth of the entries yet further. But why is this important? Well, just one of the reasons is that the creative industries are the calling card for Britain abroad. Yesterday, the Creative Industries Trade and Investment Board, on which I sit as your representative, launched a 3-year strategy to grow the exports of the creative industries by 50% by 2023. For design, this starts with a major export mission to Hong Kong in December this year. And so if you're interested in getting involved in that, do get in touch with us after this evening. If we want to continue to export our skills and to attract inward investment of businesses wanting to buy design, then we need to be able to showcase to the world the breadth and the depth of what we're capable of creating and the change that follows. How we change the fortunes of big and tiny businesses, how we change the behaviours of their customers, how we change the strategic direction of service providers to better meet customer needs, how we change the attitudes of society towards really big issues, how we change the understanding of different people groups to complex legislative change, and how we change the way of thinking about manufacturing that brings new products to market. You're going to see evidence of all of this evening. It's not just about design, it's about the difference design makes. In 2022, the government has committed to a nationwide festival showcasing the UK's unique strengths in creativity and innovation. And I see this as a major opportunity to significantly ramp up the appreciation for the creative industries in the UK and engagement into British businesses. But I can see this going further. If ever there was a need for a tonic for the nation, the idea behind the Festival of Britain in 1951, it'll be then. I need your support in the work towards that, and let's see if we can't win hearts and minds globally. The breadth of what I need to do and what I need to work with to champion you effectively needs to cover every industry sector, every discipline of design, every aspect of collaboration, every area of enterprise, and every continent in the world. I know you're sitting on this evidence, and I know that you know businesses and design firms who are sitting on this evidence too. So my call to action this evening is that you submit those entries to the awards in October this year so that we can launch ourselves onto a world stage in 2020 with maximum impact. And because we want to see more of our sector perform at this level, because we want to grow the ever-increasing impact that design can exercise, and because every business deserves this level of return, we're now offering feedback to everyone who enters the awards and consultations to everyone who's thinking of entering. And that's just the start of some of the programming changes that are taking place at the DBA. This feedback is made possible for the simple reason that year on year, we're able to pull together an impressive cohort of international judges, leaders of businesses in their own rights, who painstakingly read through every word that you write in those case studies. Entered jointly by client and designers, and judged on their own individual merits, design knows no boundaries in our awards. So no categories, no groupings. No comparison is drawn from one entry against another. The ensuing debate is rigorous, I've heard it, and sometimes lengthy, but always skillfully brought to a conclusion, and this year by our new awards chairman, Clive Grenier. So can I please ask you to show your appreciation for Clive and our judges, who are themselves invested in this award scheme, to such an extent that we benefit from their expertise and generosity every year. Judges, thank you. And our judges aren't the only people invested in making the case for design. I'd like to thank MTA Digital, who make that point every day in the beautiful print fulfillment that they provide. And I'd like to thank our friends at Red Setter, our official PR partner, who I'm guessing have had a frantic few weeks so far, which will continue into the next week, given how many of their clients here this evening are winning awards, and for whom promotion of that win is so critically important. And why is that important? Because as a previous winner once called to tell me, having announced their win the previous night, they just had a call from a FTSE 100 company to do the same for us from a branding perspective. I've also seen the case made for a larger share of budget by those who champion design within their organisations. Most FDEs understand that £5 back on every £1 invested is a good return. So the awards speak the language of business. So make sure you maximise your success this evening and leverage every possible return to you and your business. My thanks to MTA Digital and to Red Setter. Our review also confirmed that the DBA is the world authority on design effectiveness. This means that the design sector we represent should also be the world authority on design effectiveness. And I can think of no more powerful a message to business, to governments, to the world than that. It's the partnership between design and business that leads to an improved quality in people's lives through the works that we come together to deliver on. And if I can do anything to keep you at the front line of change, I will. Whether that's about sustainable change, societal change, and international change. I have to admit that political change has got the better of me more recently, particularly most of us probably at the moment. So I've deployed a rather different tactic there and just keep calm and bulldozer on approach that seems to be working. Driving up the standards and the impact of our sector remains core to the DBA. So tell us what you need to compete in the front line. So, broadening the evidence base that we can use to make the case for effective design, growing the capabilities of designers to deliver at this level, continuing to take advantage of world-class judges, and fourth, perhaps the biggest change, in the 30 years of the awards has been the trajectory of design from an afterthought in the business process, from the icing on the cake, to its position at the starting blocks of business and enterprise. Picture, if you will, an elite runner getting themselves ready for the best possible start out of the starting blocks at the gun. The race is won and lost in the first 3 seconds. Our job is to make sure that design delivers the best, the most appropriate, the most impactful start to any business, to any project, to any charity campaign, to any social improvement, to any government initiative. So firmly embedding design from start to finish is critical. No one wants to find themselves halfway down the running track, still in their tracky bottoms when everyone else has finished the race. Differentiation, speed to market, innovation disruption, environmental impact, staff well-being are just some of the change drivers in business today. And designers need to be at the heart of that change. I've said this before, these awards demonstrate what's possible when the best business brains and the best design brains come together to bring about the right conditions for transformation to occur. Because it takes creative genius on one hand and business genius on the other to drive the change that delights customers, and ultimately they're the judges of our products and services. So remember, I'm as invested in proving the impact of design as you are. My job's easy when I can rely on world-class design performances like the ones seen in every project we're here to celebrate this evening. Enjoy your evening, your moment in the spotlight, and be reassured that we are doing everything in our power to amplify your win nationally and internationally. And remember, it's not just about design, it's about the difference design makes. Thank you.